What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you a review and a tutorial on this palette right here. This is the Tammy Tanuka Earth Dragon palette. I did a tutorial today, so I will definitely be showing you guys that. I also took the time to show you guys some swatches as well, and I just gave you guys my opinion overall whether I thought that this particular palette was dark skin friendly, and then just from what I've seen, if I think the brand overall is dark skin friendly. So if you're interested in hearing my review and my opinions when it comes to this palette, just keep watching. Alrighty guys, so very quickly, like I said, today's look I did record, so just stay tuned for that. In this palette you have two true mattes, and then you have what I would say is two metallics, one shimmer and one flaky metallic. I described those four kind of traditional shimmer shades very strategically, and I'll kind of get a little bit more into why. So these two I think are very good traditional shimmer metallics. They apply to your lid very nicely, smoothly. They don't really emphasize any texture at all, at least not on my 27-year-old eyelids. This dark brown down here, I categorize that as a straight up shimmer, and I said that because I am able to actually blend that into my crease, and I don't find that it becomes a problem or it really looks too much, you know. I actually have it in my crease today, and I actually think it did really well to really add some depth and dimension into this look. So I do appreciate being able to use that eyeshadow in that manner. And then this baby right here, I categorized it as a flaky metallic, purely because of how loosely packed it is. It truly is a flaky metallic, and on my eyes I do feel that this particular shadow does add quite a bit of texture, so do keep that in mind. Like I said, I am only 27, so not old in the grand scheme of things, but old-ish, who knows. Anyways, I do find that it does emphasize the texture on the lines and the lines on my eyelids. Now I'm just gonna cut off really quickly to how I did this tutorial. There are no names, well, there are numbers on the single eyeshadows, but I generally don't know which is for what. So I did go ahead and point to each shadow, and let's just get into it. So first I took that greeny kind of Campbell-y shade in this palette, and depending on what you kind of combine this particular shade with, you really can get either a camel-y leaning shade or a greeny tone leaning shades. At the end of this look, you'll see that that shade really leans more green, but I personally enjoy it. Then I went ahead and attempted to deepen it up with that satin toned shade, or that shimmer that I was talking to you guys about, that really deep, beautiful dark chocolate shade. I think that this did a really good job to deepen up my crease, and although you may not see the true depth it provided right now, you definitely will see it when I, in a few minutes, add on the deep chocolate matte on top of it. I really did enjoy adding these two browns into my crease and really creating that depth and dimension that I felt I didn't really truly have in my first look, even though I thought I had created it. And then what I did is went ahead and cut my crease with my NYX glitter glue, and I applied that flaky metallic shade on top. Now, as you can see, I really do think that this shade really emphasizes the texture and the lines on my lid. It's not a huge deal to me. I'm not really bothered by it, if we're gonna really ask that question. It's not really a thing that I'm like mad about, but it is something that I do want to point out for people who have more wrinkles or more texture on their lids or whatever, and people who just don't even want to deal with that potential. I do find that this particular shadow does do that for me. And then in my inner corner today, I went in with the lightest greeny shade. It's really pretty. It's like a greeny gold shade. I think this is fantastic, and in my first look I actually ended up using this predominantly on my lid today. So overall, I really enjoyed what came out of this color combination today. I think it looks really nice. It really just comes together in a seamless way, but I think this is also a pretty easy, like, wearable, work appropriate look. Yeah, there's some color, but it's not like a rainbow eyeshadow look. It's pretty toned down, neutral, grungy tones, if that makes any sense. So now I kind of want to just go ahead. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. And now I just want to show you guys the swatches really quickly. I'm going to start off with the matte so you guys can see them. And we're just going to keep going. So first I'm going to start off with the kind of camely green matte, or the lightest of the two mattes, whichever you prefer. There you go. Then we're going to go with the True Chocolate Matte. Next, we're going to go in with the light greeny gold. Next, we're going to go into that satiny dark chocolate brown that I have in my crease today. Next, we're going to go into that dark, rich, greeny brown shimmer. Very, very nice. And then lastly, let's pick up some of that flaky gold shade. So there we go. This is the swatches for the palette. And so the whole meaning of me getting this palette and of course trying out this brand is, one, I was curious about the formulation. I have heard nothing but raving reviews from other YouTubers who have picked up this palette or other palettes from this brand, and they've always talked about how the palettes are so pigmented, so blendable, etc., etc. But I did not see anybody of my complexion really reviewing this product or this brand, and I really want to talk about whether I thought this was dark skin friendly. Now, I did my best to lower my lighting so that you guys can see closer to my skin tone. Like I said, I'm still working on getting some better lighting. I do have a mic. I would love for you guys to let me know how that mic is going, but this is pretty true to my true skin tone. I always have my closest shade matches down below for you guys in case you are wondering. Overall, I think that this can be manipulated to be dark skin friendly, but if you are not comfortable using a satin or shimmer in your crease like this one, I really don't think that using these two mattes you're going to get your depth that you would desire if you like a depth or variety in your crease. Right now I'm going to show you guys that second look that I've already created. I did not do a tutorial with it, unfortunately, but as you can see with the photos, you really don't see that I use that dark chocolate brown in my outer V in my crease. You really don't see it. It really just looks like I used one shadow there. And so for me, I wasn't able to really get depth and dimension and sultriness from this particular palette until I use that more satiny shade today. So that being said, do I think this is dark skin friendly? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say that it can be manipulated to work that way, but you can manipulate anything. I could have pulled a black from my collection and this would have been even more dark skin friendly. Overall, some of the other palettes that I've seen from this brand, they just don't look like they're catering to people towards my complexion, which is no fault to them. They are a Russian-based indie brand, so they're supporting or kind of focusing on their clientele in their country. But what I will say is, if you're going to continue to try and promote in the world internationally, I do think it should be something that they should start to think about, and that if they continue to not think about it, they're going to continue to limit the people who can purchase from them and ultimately limit their sales. So for me, I'm going to say that this brand to date, using just this palette, is not dark skin friendly, specifically not this palette. If I see another palette that I think will be more dark skin friendly and I have the money and I'm interested in it, I will go ahead and try it, because formula wise, I do think it is nice. I do think it is rather pigmented. I do think it is rather blendable, but I don't think that I could get the depth and dimension that Amy Loves Makeup was able to create when she used this palette. So that's kind of the end of that. If you're wondering, like, the packaging and stuff, the The packaging, like shipping wise, was beautiful. The actual palette is not very heavy. It's actually quite light, although you can feel that there are some magnets in the bottom of it, and there is no mirror. So if that is a deal breaker for you, just keep that in mind. And that's pretty much all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial slash review. Go ahead and sound off down below if you've tried this brand and you agree with me, disagree. I would love to hear your opinions, and I will see you guys in my next video. And as always, y'all, Black lives do matter. Please keep up to date with all of the latest information in the world, in your country. There are a lot of things going on. Please stay up to date. And as always, I hope your foundation matches your neck. Bye, guys.